Chairman. Comrades, let me hear you roar for our presidential candidate, Dr. The People's Progressive Party, the only national political party. Comrades and friends, tonight we have the two most important people with us here. As I mentioned earlier to you, we have with us our Prime Ministerial candidate, the Super Brigadier Chief of Staff, Mark Phillips. Let me hear you! Yes, comrades, we want you to leave here tonight with a clear understanding from the message of our presidential candidate and prime ministerial candidate. So, without any further, I will introduce to you our prime ministerial candidate, Super Brigadier Mark Phillips. Parika! Are you ready for victory? Parika, we have 7 days. 7 days for victory. We are at the point of no return. No return on the road to victory. It was a hard struggle. It was a hard struggle. And remember the history. We have been struggling to restore democracy over a year now. But remember, we have to go further. From independence, we have been struggling for democracy to take root in Guyana. 28 years, 28 dark years of the PNC came to light in 1992 when we returned democracy to Guyana, when we placed democracy firmly in Guyana. Can you remember that? You heard before that we're the only national party. Over 70 years, the PPP has been the national party for all races, for all people, young and old of Guyana. We know the history, but then 1992 came and we had democracy from 1992 to 2015. And guess what? We not only had democracy, we had development. Even development, not uneven development. Even development all over Guyana. We develop all over Guyana. We build roads, we build bridges, we build hospitals, we build schools. And guess what? We gave you house lots, over 100,000 house lots for you to build your homes. We help the farmers. This is not the government that told the sugar workers that sugar is too big to fail, and then they turn the back and close their estates and send 7,000 sugar workers home. Isn't this the government? This government did that. This government sent 7,000 sugar workers home. The coalition government sent 7,000 sugar workers home. Isn't this the government who did that? Isn't this the government who told the rice farmers that they're going to support them, and then they turned the back of the rice farmers? Comrades, this is the government that put the miners in the interior out of business. They raised the taxes. At Parika here, you pay over 500% more for the land fees, for irrigation. How can you help farmers? How can you help farmers by increasing the money that they pay to keep the farms going, and then turn to tell them that you were giving them the good life? Was that the good life? It was the good lie. You got the good lie from the coalition government. Comrades, they promise you a better life, and this is the worst life you got from 2015 to now, and that's why we're here, and that's why you're here in your large numbers, because you're fed up. Isn't that so? Comrades, now that you understand and you know the reason why you're here in your large numbers, the next thing, the next important thing within the next 7 days, it's a done deal. Come the 2nd of March, put your X next to the cup. Comrades, you can only end the suffering by putting your X next to the cup. This is the government that told you that they're working towards free education in Guyana, and then they increase the university fees by 35%. Is this the government you want? Let Granger hear you. Granger's listening now. Comrades, by no estimation, I consider myself an old man. I retired at age 55. I was in retirement for 3 years, and then the nonsense started to happen. And I said, I cannot sit down and take this. I have to come out of retirement and support the next president of Guyana. Because, comrades, we cannot have a government that will ignore, that will disrespect, that will cast aside our Constitution. Because our Constitution is the supreme law of this country, and all under the sun must respect and obey our Constitution. Because if you cannot do that, there will be no democracy in Guyana. No democracy. And that's why we're here, comrade. That's why we're here. We're here to restore democracy. That's why you're here in large numbers. So come on the 2nd of March, you will be restoring democracy in Guyana. You know, comrades, they're trying all they can do, everything under the sun. Yes, they made promises, but now they're trying everything under the sun to impede, to prevent you, to make it difficult for you to vote on the 2nd of March. But you know what? You know what? We are strong people. And we have to show them that we're strong by getting up early on the 2nd of March. Leave the drinking for afterwards. No rum drinking on the 2nd of March until you cast your vote. You're only allowed to take a shot after you put your X next to the cup. Don't be afraid. You're not to go to work. Don't go to work until you vote. Don't let nobody tell you work and then don't vote. On the 2nd of March, you have to, listen to me carefully. On the 2nd of March, you have to defend your right. Your right to restore democracy in Guyana. That's a universal right to you. Put your X next to the cup and then go to work. Nothing before you vote. Comrades, these people are fighting us on all fronts. But we will win. We will be victorious. Let me explain to you. You heard about the promises that were not fulfilled, right? And you heard about some of the plans that we have in store. But what is important is for us to focus on what will happen between now and the 2nd of March. And you know what they're doing? Right? You know what they've done? They've reduced the number of polling places available to our people. They're looking at the PPP, see strongholds, and they're trying to disrupt the process. But you know what? I impress upon you, be peaceful, be the most peaceful you can be on the 2nd of March, because what you're going to do on the 2nd of March is what you said you're going to do. You wake up, you join the line quietly, no problem, tell everybody good morning, good afternoon, and when you get into the booth, just put the X in the middle there. That is the only way we could win. That is the only way we could restore democracy. That is the only way we could restart development in Guyana. That is the only way we could reverse the taxes, the 200 taxes that they put on you over the last 5 years. We're going to reverse those taxes. But it can only be done after your X next to the cup. Is that so? Comrade, time up, David. That's what we're telling him. Time up, David. We believe in democracy. We give you 5 years. You fail us, David. David, you fail us. And guess what we're telling? We're not only telling David, Nagamutu, time to go. You know, for 5 years, Nagabutu been cutting ribbons and kissing babies. No real work. Fancy house, fancy vehicle, living off of the fat of the people. But you know what? Granger and Escobal, Nagamutu, Ramchatan, well, you know Ramchatan. Ramchatan said he's going to solve all the crimes. And he put a 2 a.m. curfew. And he said if y'all vex with it, he'll change it to 12 midnight. All of these jokers have to go. Comrade, the APNU AFC, that paper coalition has no plan. They have no vision. They have no policies to move Guyana forward. The people with the plan is the PPPC. You know, we had two young doctors spoke here earlier. Today I was in Craig. You know, 2 young doctors spoke here earlier. Today I was in Craig. And there was a lady there who said, you know, before the coalition government, the doctor used to come and visit at Craig, and you gotta put on your name, because when the doctor comes, they come once every 80 days. There's so many people to see the doctor. But now we got 2 doctors, so I had to tell her how we got 2 doctors. The champion of the earth sent 1,000 Guyanese to study in Cuba, and as they come home, that's how they get the doctors. She saw 2 doctors and she thought it's a miracle. Just overnight they turn up under the coalition. But I had to tell her the work started before. since when Barra Jack Dio was the president, he signed an agreement with Fidel Castro, and we sent thousands of young people to study medicine, to study agriculture, to study everything that we felt was necessary for development in Guyana. My son studied agriculture in Cuba under that program. How can they say we have no plan for the young people? We have a plan for the young people. They disrupted the plan for the young people. And come the 2nd of March, we will put back in place the plan for the young people. Back to universities for our young people. You heard about the 20,000 online scholarships. But that's not the only thing we're doing for education. Listen carefully, we will make education free again from nursery to university in Guyana. The $10,000, you heard about it, you'll get it back after you put the XX in the cup. Right away, right away, no delay. And guess what? The old age pension, we're gonna increase that during our 5 years. During our 5 years, that old age pension will be doubled. During our 5 years. Huh?
During the first 5 years.
Anyway, we don't want to make it into the show, but we have a number of measures.
Yes.
Check our manifesto. Everything is laid out in our manifesto. They saw us put out a manifesto. Granger went on stage and said he has a plan, and he keep putting his hand in his pocket. But when he take out the hand in his pocket, there's nothing in his hands. And then somebody tell them, it doesn't make sense. You have to come out with a manifesto. So he came out with a notebook with plenty pictures. It's a tablet he got. But you know what? We gonna be giving out the real tablet. One laptop for family. We gonna do it again. We did it without oil. Comrades, careful. Listen to this. We did it without oil. We did it with sugar, rice, bauxite, gold, and diamond, and forestry. The money that we got from that, a poor country like Guyana did all those things with people. And now that we got oil, we will use the oil money and spend it for the development, for the benefit of the people. And comrade, that's why all of us are annoyed. All of us are annoyed with this government, because this is the government that was sleeping in Parliament. This is the government that was sleeping in the cabinet meeting. This is the government that gets somebody from overseas working for ExxonMobil to write the notes, to write the agreement for the cabinet decision on oil and gas. This is the government, through their incompetence, that have us hanging right now. Hanging right now. 55 million, you heard it before, $55 billion left on the table in Texas. Left on Exxon table in Texas. You know what we could have done with $55 billion US? Every man, woman, and child in Guyana could have gotten a house and a car in the garage over the next 40 years with $55 million US. This is the government that tell you that they're caring. And last year, right now they're announcing that they increase the taxes that they took out of your pockets by $91 billion. They took $91 billion more out of your pocket. You know what? To spend on their cronies. But we're going to give you back that money. That is your money. And after you vote for us, we will give you back that money. Comrades, there's a lot more. There's a lot more in store for you. There's a lot more in store for you. But remember, as I tell you, this is the hardest 7 days in your life. Now to the 2nd of March, you have to remain focused. You have to remain focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. The prize is the return to democracy in Guyana. The prize is the development of Guyana. This government has taken us backward. You know the saying, forward ever, backward never. But if you stick with them, it's backward forever. And we don't want that. We want a Guyana that is developing. When you vote for us, it is stronger together for a better Guyana. The first P in the PPPC is peoples, and that says it all. The second P is progressive, right? So the people is at the center of all our developmental plans. And with the people, we will progress in Guyana. If you're going to put Guyana first, you have to vote for the PPPC. If you want a better life, for your children, you have to vote for the PPPC. You want better housing, vote for the PPPC. You want to establish a profitable business, vote for the PPPC. You want to return your farms to profitability and be a man and a woman again, dignified in the eyes of the people of Guyana, vote for the PPPC. And as your prime ministerial candidate, as I told you, I will be supporting our next president, and I'll be coming into all these communities because I don't like air-conditioned offices. I like to be out in the fields with the people. Thank you for your vote. Thank you for your vote. We will be victorious.